Yes. I have finally found it. The Temple of DTHCR. After a whole life of searching, I can finally get my hands on the heaviest matter on Earth. Wow, there it is. It is more beautiful in person. I already feel my balls getting heavy and dropping. Ha 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 ha. Oh no. What is this gas? Is this what the kids called marijuana? I am getting sleepy. I think I'll take a quick nap.
Hi guys, and welcome back to another Metal Roast review. Yay! And if you're new to the channel, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. I'll greatly appreciate it. But anyway, today we are looking at the latest blend from deathcore downtempo band Distant from the Netherlands. And they are bringing us their new EP called Dawn of Corruption. Now, Distant is a six-piece band consisting of members from both Netherlands and Slovakia, and they are bringing you crushing breakdowns, disgusting goblin-like screams, and some of the heaviest shit I've heard to date when it comes to what's been out this year. Now, a quick backstory. Back in 2019, I saw that they released their debut album, Tyrannotopia. And with that album, it was crushing, it was heavy, and you know what? It was a great debut album. Cut to 2020, earlier this year, they brought out the single Argon Dead, which consisted of 5 of the best up-and-coming vocalists from the deathcore genre. And it was a heavy assault of brutality overall. And there was just one issue for me, and it was the mix. This song was so heavy, it was so brutal, but the mix just let it down. And I really wanted to like the single, but because of the mix, you know, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't ignore how the mix sounded. As a sound engineer, I just can't do it. So then I was left in a neutral position where I was still listening to Tyrannotopia, but at the same time, I was worried whether if the music afterwards would be consisting of the mix from that single. So I was in a bit of a limbo state. But I can already tell you right now, the new EP, yep, don't have to worry about that. So, to kick off this EP, we have our intro track, Hull of Crows. Now, Hull of Crows being the intro track, it is the teaser, it's the overture, it is the trailer getting you ready to watch the movie. And not gonna lie, for a trailer, this is fucking brutal. I think the best way to explain it is imagine you're watching a trailer for a film and one of the main characters gets killed straight away in the trailer. And you're just left going what the fuck, that's the trailer? And then you go and watch the film and then you realize, oh my god, that was a minor moment, that meant nothing. That's kind of what this track is. It's brutal, it's heavy, straight off the get-go. This track had me finishing prematurely while my jaw was on the floor. I'm trying to do No Nut November and this isn't helping. Anyway, all jokes aside, this track opens up with some ominous strings giving you that creepy vibe because, you know, it is the Spooktober season that it came out. And then it just hits you with chug, riff, blast beats, double kick patterns. A similarity to this track would be, I don't know if anybody remembers the amazing album that is Abyssal by the band Humanity's Last Breath. Well, and if you haven't, go check it out right now. But on that album, there was a track called Being, which sort of this track mimics in that it's ominous. And then you get a riff, you get a blast beat, you get a little tease of what's yet to come without giving away too much. And as most teasers are meant to do, it's meant to grab onto you and not let go. And that's pretty much what this track does. It gives you just enough to get hooked. And then before you know it, you're all in. Up next, we have the title track, Dawn of Corruption. So this track brings guest vocalist Jason Evans from the mighty Ingested yeah, frankly, this song picks up right where the last track ended. We have more ominous string sections. We've got heavy brutality. We also have a section here that consists of, seems like multiple people chanting some ominous prayer, which I assume has some relation to do with the overall concept. I remember hearing from the band saying that this EP is sort of like a prequel to the storyline of Tyrannotopia. The ominous praying must have something to do with it. But anyway, overall this track is pretty brutal. We get Jason Evans' section, which I gotta say right now, Jason Evans couldn't have had a better fit for this track and this album in general. He's got that perfect tonality of vocals that just fits so well, and it's almost seamless in a way. My only issue really was I just felt Jason's vocals were a bit too low in the mix, and for a guy like that, I would have loved it if he was just like front and center in the mix and you knew who it was. As this being the title track, you want to see the best of the best from this band, and I have to say Distant, they nail it. It's got all their heaviness, it's got a lot of their techniques. They're using whammy pedals, they're using really cool sort of tricks on the guitar sections to really overall give it just an intensity that's yet to be displayed coming out of this year. So overall, as a title track, it's a great track. Moving on!
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
Moving on, we have the track Hellmouth, which was the first single to come out for this EP, and also the track that sort of revitalized my love for this band, as it was the first thing I heard after Argent Debt. And also, if you want to see my sort of full first impression reaction to it, I'll leave a link, I think, up here. If you want to go check that out, I go into a bit more detail for the track there as well. But just give a brief overview about this track. It is heavy, it's brutal. At this point, I have to give props to the person behind the sound, the mixing engineer, Simon Pietro Forte. I hope I pronounced that correctly. He did an amazing job. He did exactly what this track needed and what this EP did. It is fucking brutal, it's heavy, it's everything it should be. So I will leave a link below to his Facebook page. Go give him a like, he really deserves it for the great job he's done on this album. Yeah, but pretty much this track has been in my gym playlist since day one. It has gotten me through so many goddamn lifts, it's insane. I think the best way to describe this track is think of Black Tongue, where it starts off with this really intense heavy riff, and then they go even slower and more chuggy and more disgusting. It's so good. And then when you think this track couldn't get any heavier, they sort of outdo themselves once more with the ending breakdown, which starts off with this cheeky lead. You think nothing of it, and then boom, a bomb drops. And a toilet shows up and just starts screaming in your face. It's some of the most disgusting things I've ever heard since bands such as like Infant Annihilator or Black Tongue themselves. Yeah, and overall, yeah, fucking brutal. Next, we have the second single that came out for this EP called Oidipism. I think that's how you say it. And once again, I did do a reaction for this, so I will leave a link up there somewhere. But to repeat myself briefly, this track sees the band going for more of a technical vibe. It's more fast-paced, high-energy feel. Definitely reminiscent of bands that are more in the tech death field, which is great. It's showing the band that they can do more than just straight-up chugs and like slammier deathcore stuff. I like that in this track it had, you know, changing from the more simple 4/4 time to a more triplet feel, especially on one blast beat, which I love. I always love it when they do that. They just have a blast beat that's not in 4/4 time. I don't know, I just like it. I don't know why I like it, I just like it. And if I had to say, this track is definitely the one that reminded me most of the band Infant Annihilator, with its brutality, even some of the vocal performances in the track where the vocalist says rot, where you're very much emphasizing the R in the word rot. I don't know, I just like it. It gives you sort of that very goblin-y sort of vibe. I don't know what face I did. I don't know why I did that. This album is turning me into a monster.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
And of course, this track probably has the heaviest breakdown on the album, that is so elegantly started by just one simple phrase.
Hello?
What did you say?
UHHH. That was weird. Where am I? This is not Kansas. Where are my pants?
You are finally awake.
Who the fuck are you?
I am the High Priestess of Corruption,
No.
and you are the sacrifice to awaken the Dark Lord.
This can't be. I must be dreaming.
Do you think you can just walk in here and claim the heaviest matter in the universe? No. No one can.
You cannot do this. Let me go.
Now sit there and take it.
No.
Suffer forever.
Coming towards the end of the album, we have the next track called Temple of Taglaroth. God, more names. It's gonna be tough to pronounce. But this track also has a guest featured by Mendel Bij de Lej. Once again, I am so sorry if I mispronounced that. I'm gonna write it somewhere here so you actually get to see what it looks like. So this track was an interesting one because it definitely brought back a lot of nostalgia. It was reminding me of tracks from bands such as Thy Art Is Murder, Chelsea Grin, like sort of the more old school feel, whether it be the breakdowns, the screams, and also the use of that very dissonant guitar solo, which heavily reminded me of like old school Die Art. And on top of that, one thing I did find really cool was the vocal, especially I think in the section that could have been the chorus, where it reminded me a bit of like Jason from Ingested on the track Better Off Dead, where he does that sort of like stopping and starting thing on the chorus. So that was really cool. I thought the track was really dope, and of course I have to talk about the opening of the track where they utilize the whammy in such a way that I haven't heard yet, at least in my experience I haven't heard it as done this way before. Really cool what they've done with it. It's adding something fresh. It's keeping the listener on their toes, which is really impressive considering this is only a 5-track affair. Usually bands wouldn't try and do much. Usually bands don't tend to add a huge difference for like a 5-track affair. So the fact that the band is constantly, adding new embellishments, new techniques into their writing shows that they really do want to push themselves to be an amazing band. And you know what? They're definitely going to do that. And finally, we come to the last track of this epic, heavy EP, and that is the track The Void. So this is the closing track, and usually with shorter closing tracks, they tend to go for more of an atmospheric approach. They don't tend to do anything too insane, because guess what? I think about this point, anyone listening is probably battered and destroyed. But no! They still go hard on this last track, going as hard as they fucking can to end this EP. The best way I can describe it is, imagine, you just finished your main course at a restaurant, and then they come, and then when you think you're about to get dessert, they give you a second main course. And you're bloated, you're feeling disgusting, you're ruined and battered, and then you have that last bit and you blow up. I guess that's one way to describe it. But yeah, this band does not hold back on this closing track. They give you everything they've got, and yeah, just brutalize you, even at the end, when you're already dead. It's great. And now we come to the part where I talk a bit about the mix. So the mix overall was just top notch. A modern deathcore mix, it was on point. Once again, props to Simon from Divergent Studio, just providing an excellent mix for this. Fun fact, I found out also, I briefly was chatting to Simon and found out that the drums were mainly programmed, which probably would explain why they are sounding so tight, so consistent, and so brutal on every hit. And you know, I'm not even mad, you know, sometimes for a larger than life sound, you need something that's larger than life, literally not even life itself. So yeah, it was absolutely amazing. The guitars were sounding clean and aggressive. They were being heard without being masked behind anything else. And I have to give props to the vocals were just as what they needed to be. Besides maybe like wishing that Jason Evans' vocals were a bit higher, but that's really it. The main vocals I really enjoyed, especially on the high scream sections, because in Distance previous work, I found that the high screams were sometimes over compressed or just blown out to the point where I found a bit of harshness around the 3 kilohertz area. So when I heard the high screams on this one, it was a lot tighter, it was a lot cleaner. It didn't sound ridiculously compressed, even if it probably was. And they were sounding overall really nice and really like enjoyable to listen to overall. So no real complaints about the mix whatsoever. And finally, the verdict. So overall, this EP is probably the heaviest thing to come out this year. We've had some good contenders like Slaughter Should Prevail and even HLB's track they put out, Earthless, but I feel like as a whole concept, this EP just takes the cake. There's so much there and they never let down on the quality writing and the heaviness for it. So with all that being said, I'm gonna give this an 8 out of 10. Now the only reason I wouldn't give it higher is just because I was kind of blue balls. I just wanted more. I want more, so much more. I'm greedy. I'm a bit greedy in that sense. But overall, I still think this was an amazing record. So I say really good job on it. But anyway, I'm gonna end the video there. Probably going on long enough. And let me know down in the comments, what did you guys think of the EP? Did you like it? Did you not? And subscribe to keep up to date on all the content coming out. And finally, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like. I would really appreciate it. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Where the fuck am I now? Why has my voice changed? Thank fuck this place has subtitles. Listen, you've got to let me go. I'll do anything, please. What? Don't eat me. YouTubers don't taste good. Let me go. Please. I'll promote you on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, anything. Just please don't eat me. Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. I'm here to tell you about the greatest album ever. It is the best and you should go buy it right now, please.